Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AI Minute Mondays, where I take a couple of minutes every Monday to demystify AI for everyone. Today, we are going to be talking about building an AI ready culture and how leaders play a pivotal role in empowering innovation and experimentation within their teams. Now, great leadership has never been easy, but in the era of AI, leadership needs a reset. The most successful companies aren't the ones who just adopt the tools, they are the ones who build an AI first mindset. Joining me today on AI Minutes is Mark Heneen, who heads the FastTrack Engineering team at Microsoft. And Mark is going to help us unpack some of these key topics. So, Mark, before that, can you go ahead and share a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Thanks, Suchi, for having me. So I've been at Microsoft a little over 21 years now, and I helped start what became Office 365, used to be called MMS and BPOS. And then I had the fortunate luck of being one of the founding members of FastTrack, which is designed to help customers seamlessly onboard in the cloud and adopt our services. So holistically, I own what's called Fast Track Engineering, and my team drives innovation around applications that help support the Fast Track engineering team and our customers and partners. So first and foremost, we try and execute and implement artificial intelligence or Gen AI in all of our tooling that help our customers and our partners onboard quickly, but in particular, our delivery teams in enabling their day-to-day work. Then we also have a component in my team which is focused on creating tooling and experience inside of what you call the Microsoft Admin Center, Microsoft 365 Admin Center, effectively step-by-step guides in generative AI co-pilot experiences that get you from beginning to end, and then also helping you adopt those services. And then finally, are in the partner space. So all of the experiences that help our partners deliver the fast track benefit, my team's on the hook for.
Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing your journey. So, from your experience as a leader, how do you think you can go ahead and build an AI ready culture where people can thrive and they have the needed space for experimentation and innovation?
Yeah, so certainly one of the things that I, from a culture standpoint, reinforce with my team is what's the legacy you want to leave behind? This is a very unique opportunity in our careers and in our lifetime. And I'm a big believer in making the news versus reporting the news. So what are the things that you can actually do to contribute to such a, innovative time in our not just technical world, but in the history of mankind? And so I stress the opportunity of taking advantage of all of the tools that are available today to create Gen AI Copilot experiences and agents on top of Copilot, let alone a lot of other automation. It's funny. I see a lot of similarities to that of when the cloud just was it was invented 15 plus years ago, and nobody knew what it was, and there's a lot of affinity to what the on-premises world was like, and so the fear of the unknown and what the cloud could do and the type of collaboration that you could have in the cloud seems very similar to that with Gen AI. It's like, what are the possibilities? And because it's yet to be defined, by all of us holistically, there's really a clean canvas for some amazing work to be done.
Thank you, Mark. That is super interesting in terms of your comparison of the new AI era to how it was when the cloud first came in, and then yes, we saw a lot of similar kind of disruption. And
Yeah.
also, thank you for sharing your journey around how you're encouraging and enabling innovation within your team. So, when I was part of your team, one of the things that always struck me was how we had a strong focus on the hackathons and building. Different solutions, anything that we chose, and we could showcase that within the hackathon. And we had this special event, and that was always encouraging to see not just what we built, but what other people within the organization built. So, can
Yeah.
you elaborate a little bit more around what you do with the hackathons?
Yeah, so I would say it's an evolution. The past couple of years, it was promptathons. What prompts can I use to help me with Copilot? Then what can I build on top of Copilot or other generative AI technologies that help, streamline business processes? And then in that evolution, what became something relatively new was this concept of agents. And in particular with agents, it's all about how do I transform my business processes into some technological component. We call it carbon to silicon. How am I able to take those business processes and automate them and make myself more efficient with generative AI, but also be able to connect to a variety of different sources of data or information to create those agents to optimize those workflows. That in addition to extensibility, so integrating with other organizations, generative AI has certainly been, mechanisms in which I've had my team focus on. And I'm a big believer in leapfrogging one another. My team had one of the first Copilot experiences a couple of years ago. It was innovative at the time. There was new stuff that we learned. There's new technologies that we could build on, and we leapfrogged each other, and we leapfrogged each other again and again. And it's okay, especially not only okay, it's something that I encourage that just you learn, you get something out the door, you fail. If you fail fast, and you build on the work of yourself and others, right? So there's no harm and no fear in failing. It's just what do you do to build, the most innovative and greatest products at the moment in this very adaptive Gen AI world.
Thank you, Mark. So that's interesting about failing fast, experimenting more, and learning along the way. So thank you for sharing that. Now, while you're talking about building this AI ready culture, I mean, it's clearly not easy, right? So, what
Sure.
are there are challenges along the way. So, what would you say was one of the biggest challenges that you faced in this journey? And what are the steps that you took to address that?
Sure, and that's a great point. So first of all, it starts with myself, but also the culture in my team. And I would say not necessarily even my own team. I would say at a broader level, B teams of, multiple stakeholders who are working together to try and achieve outcomes. Um, my biggest fear, you've got a lot of smart people working on stuff, and you're trying to do it together, are we creating a socket for analysis paralysis where we're, just not learning and doing? We're just talking about the art of the possible versus doing something. So, um, number one priority in my mind is just go do. There is no harm in just trying things out and testing things and seeing what's working and what's not. And then we have this awesome benefit of being able to talk to the teams that are building these technologies and give them that immediate feedback. So if we are building on, the Copilot platform, whether it's an agent or whatever the case is, we're able to, execute on it in real world scenarios, not just talk about it, and then help build those product groups or give the feedback to those product groups to build a better product. I would say the second most critical component is, I never ask my folks to do things I won't do myself. And I literally use Copilot, the app on my phone. Rain is my personal assistant. I use it every day. And I use it from, planning my week to ideating some thoughts to learning what's coming or what people are saying on the market about our products, competitive products, that type of stuff. And it's pretty amazing to be able to interact very naturally with that Copilot agent, in particular the mobile phone version with Rain. It's quite impressive. And so by acting and showing, and I bring in my Copilot agent sometimes into meetings to build on that. Hey, this other component that it's not necessarily replacing any individual. It's really appending the team and helping us expedite our outcomes faster. And I certainly see that with my own experience using Copilot on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Mark. This is super interesting. So, to summarize, building an AI ready culture needs an AI first mindset. You need to lead with curiosity, not predictability,
Yeah.
reward experimentation, and like you mentioned, the go do. And almost
Yes.
reminds me of Yoda is like, do or do not. There is no try. So, and like you said, leading by example is the most important thing that a leader can do.
Absolutely.
show the pathway, and others will follow.
Yes.
That's all that we have in AI Minutes today. Thank you so much once again, Mark, for joining in. And happy Monday, everyone.
Thanks. Pleasure being on the episode. Thanks again, Suchi, for having me.
Thanks, Mark.